Okay. Well, it is a beautiful August day, and it also happens to be a full moon. The full moon will hopefully be visible tonight, and it will be a supermoon, last supermoon of the year, I heard. So let's celebrate that full moon. Today we'll do some moon salutations. But what I want to do is start with a standing warm-up to open all the joints and all the movements of the spine. And we'll do a little bit of sun salutation flow just to open those parts of the body, and then we'll move into the moon salutation. So I'm going to put you all on mute. Okay, and I'm going to invite you to come to standing on your mat. Come to stand in mountain pose. And I just want to remind you all that the mountain pose, also known as Tadasana, also known as Samastiti, or equal balance on both feet, is not just standing there waiting for something to happen. Your yoga begins here. And yoga means union, so we bring into union that sense of being present in our bodies, connected with mindful breathing. And we bring that awareness, breath, and inhabiting our bodies together. And this coming into mountain pose is taking a stand for a conscious way of being that we want to practice on the mat and bring into our daily lives. So I'm going to invite you to see what bubbles up in your consciousness as perhaps an intention or a quality that you'd like to cultivate as you come into standing in presence, fully alive, fully alert, really landing here. Maybe that quality is presence. Maybe it's peace, wanting to be the embodiment of peace in all that you do. Maybe it's compassion, kindness. Maybe it's connecting with your creativity or being of service, being an instrument. Maybe it's cultivating more joy. Whatever it is, see what arises in the mind and heart. And as the toes point straight ahead, let's lift the toes and spread them apart. And notice how when you do that, the soles of the feet light up and you can feel the connection with the earth underneath the ball mound of the big toe. Press the outside edge of the foot under the little toe into the mat. You can feel your heel making contact, but you can also sense perhaps that the arches are lifted. This is called Padabandha, the lift at the bottom of the feet. And let that energetic lift be a drawing of energy up from the earth. And keep that lift as you place the toes down with a little space in between them. Let that lift draw up the legs, kneecaps lift, quadriceps engage. Let that lift come all the way up into your core, right to your solar plexus, your power center. Root the tailbone down, so you're going to lengthen through the low back. Let the pubic bone come forward a little bit so you can find that lengthening of the lumbar area. Let that lift draw up to the heart center and roll the shoulders back and down so the heart spreads in that gesture of openness. And turn the palms open, readiness, receptivity. Let the shoulders roll back and down, shoulder blades toward one another along the back body, neck long as the crown of the head lifts. Let yourself be that bridge between heaven and earth. And bringing that intention, that quality into your mind and heart. Let the arms rise. Big breath in. Reach out to the horizons. Turn the palms up. Bring the hands to the sky. Reach through the right. Reach through the left. And bring the palms together as if you're gathering in that quality. And exhale down the center line to the heart. Let the thumbs rest at the sternum right in front of the heart. And those who wish to can join me in the sound of Om to seal that intention. Deep breath in. Let the eyes open with a soft gaze. Find some softness in the knees, and we'll take some standing sun breaths. Big, deep yogic breaths. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend the knees, round the spine. Syncing up your movement and your breath. And keep going. I'm just going to open the windows a little bit. It was chilly this morning, so I had them closed. But it is warming up, so we'll get some airflow in here. Deep breath in. Let the breath get a little deeper, reach a little higher. And on that exhale, bend the knees a little deeper, chin to chest. In that spirit of opening, to grace, to energy, to love and light. Exhale, letting go of whatever needs to be released. Getting that ujjayi breath, brushing the back of the throat. Next exhale, bring your hands to your thighs. Take cat-cow. I'll turn sideways. You can see the movements of my spine. And find your full range of motion in your flexion and extension, syncing up movement, breath, and attention. Feeling the expansion in the front body on the inhale, expansion on the back body with the exhale. And on the next inhale, arms rise. Reach through right, reach through left, and draw the shoulders down. Take your right fingers, clasp them around your left wrist, and take a half moon side bend. Unshrug that left shoulder, press out to the left hip. Inhale up to center, float the arms down, bend the knees around the spine. Other side, inhale, lift up, reach, and take the side bend on the other side. Inhale up to center, float the arms down. I'm going to invite you to take that again each side, and this time if you want to take it a little bit deeper and have a little more fun with it, you can take, as you clasp your left wrist, you can take your left foot behind your right, bring it all the way over to your right, I'm mirroring you here, and be on the outer edge of that left foot. So the sole of your foot is facing to the right side of your space, and bend the right knee, the leg that you're standing on now, bend that a little bit more so you get into a little deeper side bend. Yum, yum. Expand through the ribs. Breathe space in between the ribs and exhale, release. Just take a moment to come back to your mountain pose and feel the difference between your right side and left side after that stretch. Big breath in and exhale. Inhale, other side. So you can do that same simpler side bend that we did, or you bring your right foot behind the left, as far over to the left as you can, on the outer edge of your foot, and take this, I call this the half moon pose on steroids. That whole line of connective tissue that goes from the foot to the fingertips on your right side is expanding. You're going to breathe a little more space between the ribs and release. Float the arms down. Come back to standing. And roll the shoulders. Let whatever needs to roll off, roll off. You can even make some noise with that exhale, that letting go sound. Roll it forward. And then standing yoga mudra, clasp the hands behind you, like so. Straighten the arms. If it's hard to straighten the arms, use your strap. And really let those shoulder blades come toward one another like they want to kiss. Feel the heart lighting up. Big inhale. Arch back a little bit if you can. Take this as a standing back bend with hands clasped. Then bend the knees and a slow fold, making contact, belly and thighs. Hands reach high. You can even make pointer fingers to the sky if you'd like to do that. And then point your fingers to the front of the space. Keeping connection between belly and thighs. See how much you can straighten the legs, just taking a few pulses here. And then letting the hands come down to frame the feet. Just hanging out in your forward bend, letting the head be loose, finding your yes, your no, your I don't know, but I'm open to the mystery of it all. Any wiggles and waggles and movements that invite that lengthening of the spine, lengthening, loosening, and letting go. And then we'll take a half lift. And so take a deep inhale and let the spine come parallel to the floor. Try fingertips instead of palms on your lower legs so that you have a little more length. It gives you a couple more inches of length. Reverse shrug with the shoulders flat back. Big breath in and exhale, fold. And one more time, flat back, grow a little longer this time. Engage Uddiyana Bandha, abdominal lift to support that expanding spine from tail to crown. Exhale, fold. And then from here, heel toe, the feet to as wide as the outside edges of your mat. Then pivot on the heels to have the toes come out a little bit wider, so 45 degrees. Bend the knees and roll up. One vertebra at a time, stacking bone on top of bone. Coming to standing, soft knees, we'll take empty coat sleeves. So here, the torso leads. It's a movement from the waist, and actually the heart leads and the head follows. So belly and heart lead, and the arms are just coming along for the ride. If you give it a little bit of bounce, lifting opposite heel, you might be able to even invite one arm to give yourself a pat on the back over opposite shoulder, and the other arm gives a little tap in the kidney area, stimulating the adrenals. Get a little bit more bounce and lift, a little bit more playful with this. So a little bit of knee bends and then straightening the knees into the twist, lifting opposite heel, and a ha breath from the belly into the twist. Ha, ha. Ha, ha, ha. Make a little noise. Don't be shy. Ha, 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 ha. And then slowly letting that ha breath melt into a sigh. Coming back into stillness naturally, just let the arms find their stillness, feel that, all that aliveness and tingling. I love that reverberation of that practice. And then keep the knees soft, bring your hands to your hips, and we'll just do some nice swirly circles. Keeping the shoulders steady, just let the hips roll. Explore your range of motion with these circles. Hips, pelvis, low back, finding some movement here, and then try circling the other way. Just saying hello to the whole body, all of the joints, all of the muscles, and breathing some life into them, enjoying and celebrating all the parts of your body. And then coming back to center, into stillness. Arms rise. Okay, a couple of options here. Palms come together overhead. And we're going to come into a squat. Slowly draw the hands down. Now, if you have knee issues, you can just stay in a sort of semi-wide leg squat here. If you need to place your hands on your thighs. But if you can come into a full malasana pose, you might need to waddle your heels a little further apart. Toes turn out 45 degrees. Hands in prayer. And your elbows are going to come inside your thighs. Great. So try not to be in kind of a schlumpy squat, but more in an elegant squat. Heart forward, shoulders back, crown lifted, tailbone rooting down. 2 more breaths here. Please do not do this if this creates pain. You can always be up higher or just come back up to standing. And then placing the hands on the earth, pivot the heels so the toes point straight ahead behind your hands and straighten your legs, coming into a forward bend with a little wider legs. And then we'll heel toe, the feet to about hip width apart, soften the knees, and roll up 1 vertebra at a time. Keep knees bent. If you want to walk your hands up the legs, you can do that. Stack bone on bone. Come to standing back in your steady and comfortable mountain. Arms reach and rise. Gather in that prayer, intention, that quality that you touched into at the beginning of practice, and bring it back to your heart. Take a breath in and out. Notice what's alive in you. Notice how different you feel now from when you first came in, when you first started your practice. And then take a deep breath in and let the arms rise like the sun. Reach to the right, reach to the left, standing back bend, heart, hands, gaze skyward. Exhale, deep dive into a forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Engage the abdominal lift, spread the sit bones. Exhale, fold, and frame your feet. Here, I'm going to invite you to step back right into plank pose. So you can do a little jump back if you enjoy that, or step it back 1 leg at a time, landing in your steady, comfortable, firm plank. If you need knee down plank, that's fine to take that. Lengthen through the low back, firm the core, and stack your arm bones on top of one another. Big breath in, power up the legs, press back through the heels, and exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Buttocks up in the air, hands under the shoulders, lift those hips a little higher, toes curl under. Inhale, take it into your cobra. Maybe baby cobra to start. Maybe full cobra feels available. Just keep the elbows bent and the shoulders back, and then pressing back to your downward facing dog. We'll take a couple of breaths here in downward dog, low belly toward the thighs. Lift the sacrum, melt the heart. Straighten the arms and press down and away like you're gonna tear the front of your mat off, and lift the navel in and up. Let's take a couple more rounds of that flow coming into plank. Inhale. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra, either baby or full expression of cobra. And down and back to downward facing dog. And take 1 more round of that on your own. If you feel up for doing chaturanga to up dog, you can take that. Up dog straightens the arms and draws the heads of the shoulders back. Rolls over the toes to come back into down dog. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, find your way back into down dog. And we'll come into a lunge here with the right foot forward. If you'd like to take 3-legged dog, you can sweep those toes high. Step the right foot forward. Lower left knee down. I'll let you take a minute to land there. Want to make sure the music isn't too loud. Okay. So landing in low lunge with your right knee over your right ankle. Left foot sliding back, inner thighs toward the center, sweep up, and take your kneeling warrior, drop shoulders, reach hands to the sky. Navel lift, root down with the tail. Exhale, clasp hands behind you. Inhale, open heart wide. Big breath, exhale, release. Draw the hips back and just take a runner stretch, point and flex. So you're gonna bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Maybe blocks will be useful for you here. And keep the toes pointed up to the sky. Lengthen out with a flat back and bow down. Go for the juice here. Ah, yum, yum. Nice hamstring stretch. So just want to notice if you're doing this slumpasana here and try to lengthen out through your spine. Everybody looks good here. And roll the foot down, come back into your lunge. Now here I'm going to invite you to take a twist of your choice. So you can either do a press twist like we've done before, pressing on floor and thigh, or you can curl your back toes under and take a full revolved side angle, long and wide. Big inhale to expand. Exhale, hands frame that front foot. Step back to plank and flow it through as you enjoy. The exhale lowers down, the inhale comes into your lifted chest, open-hearted back bend. The exhale comes back to downward facing dog. Take another breath once you land in your downward facing dog. Lift up. If you took your three-legged dog, you can lift up with the left toes. Otherwise, step it through any way that you want. Float that foot through, come into a low lunge with right knee down and slid back. Notice any scrunchasana in the shoulders and relax. Unscrunch. Is that a word? Unscrunch. De-scrunch. And root the tailbone down, lengthen through the spine. Inner thighs toward the center and find your Anjaneyasana, kneeling warrior, steady and comfortable, rooted and expanded. Big breath in, exhale, hands meet. Inhale, heart opens. You can play with arching back if that feels good, a nice stability practice. And then release, hands under the shoulders. And draw the hips back to come into your runner stretch. Point and flex. That gets the feet, the toes, the ankles, the calves activated here. Lots of breath. And then keep the toes pointed to the sky. Lengthen out and bow down, leaning with the heart, meeting your edge with every exhale. Breathe and enjoy. And I'm going to invite you to come back into your lunge and take the twist of your choice that you took on the other side, whether it's press twist, lengthening out and rolling open, or coming into a high lunge and taking it into revolved side angle. Just make sure you press firmly into your foot so your knee stays over your ankle on that left side. Exhale, release, and step back into plank. One more time, flow it through. Landing in downward facing dog. And if you took a hop back when we took that first plank, you can try taking a hop forward, or you can walk your feet between your hands. So if you're going to take that hop forward, you want to bend the knees deeply, look up, take a hop and land with the knees bent before coming into that forward fold. Half lift, flat back, and exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Let's take chair pose one time because here we are, so we might as well. All right, sit down in your chair, shoulders back, heart forward, positive attitude, believing in your own strength and power. Ujjayi breath. Weight comes into the heels a little bit. Corners of the mouth lift. And then arms rise like the sun. Extended mountain, palms come together, gather in that quality, and draw it back to the heart. Pause and feel what's alive in you. I'm going to open this door so we get a little more. How's that feel? Probably feels good. All right, we are going to come into a moon salutation flow to celebrate that full super moon. So I'm going to invite you to come sideways on your mat. So as long as you can see me, you can turn your mat any way that feels comfortable for you so that you can just get a good view of me. So you want to be facing the long end of your mat, and to take your blocks and place them on either end of your mat. Okay. So the moon salutation is a vinyasa flow. It's called Chandra Namaskar Vinyasa, the salutation to the moon. Chandra means moon. Vinyasa is a flow of postures linked together with breath. As you know, the sun salutation has back bends and forward bends and lunges, and that is a vinyasa. Surya Namaskar Vinyasa, sun salutation flow. The moon salutation works different parts of the body. It really works the legs. It opens the hips, opens the heart, and stretches the side body. It's considered the feminine version of a vinyasa flow because of those open hips and open heart. So, and we're going to have a lot of goddess pose. So you're going to maybe feel this in your legs tomorrow. Just a little heads up, something to remember, that the side postures, most of the side postures that we're going to be doing are going to have that same position that we come into in Warrior Two, where heel and instep are lined up, toes on the lengthened leg, turned in slightly. Hips open to the long end of your mat, knee over ankle and drawing toward pinky toe. So that's the thing to remember each time you come into those postures. And it'll be the same leg position, but different explorations with the upper body. So come to your right side of your mat. Find that mountain pose and hands in prayer, touching once again into that intention. And we're going to begin with the phases of the moon, waxing, waning, and full, and new moon, which also corresponds to different phases of a woman's life. The moon is seen as female. So maiden, mother, and crone, wise elder. And I guess the fourth phase would be going into the spirit world. Hands in prayer, moon rises. Inhale. So upper arms in line with ears, tailbone rooting down. Find that line of energy that goes down into the earth through your tail, up through those fingertips to the sky. Exhale, waxing. Inhale, full. Exhale, waning. And as you inhale into the new moon, you're going to open up into a wide stance from heel to heel, as wide as one of your legs. Toes turn out 45 degrees. So this is the 5-pointed star pose. Exhale, goddess. So let the thighs come as close to parallel as they can. Elbows in line with shoulders, drawing back so the heart opens, root down through the tail. Inhale, open up into your 5-pointed star. Bend the right knee and spring off or slide. So you come back into your extended mountain, and we'll take the 3 phases of the moon. Exhale, waning. Inhale, full. Exhale. Excuse me, that was waxing. This is waning. Inhale, new moon. Exhale, hands down to the heart. And that is our opening sequence, and we'll take it one more time again to go back to the right. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, 3 phases of the moon. Inhale, full. Exhale, waning. Inhale, open up, new moon, step out, 5-pointed star. Exhale, goddess, nice and deep into your goddess. Now notice if your shoulders are going forward, what you don't want to do is this, and you don't want to arch your low back. You want to tuck the pelvis so you have a flat back, as if you're beautiful. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Bend the left knee, spring off, and come back into extended mountain. Take your 3 phases. Exhale. Waxing, full. Inhale. Exhale, waning. Inhale, new moon, and moon sets. Now we're going to add the Warrior Two to that sequence, into that framework. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale. Side bend here. Inhale up to center and open, step out nice and wide, 5-pointed star. Exhale, get low into your goddess, powerful goddess. Inhale, opening up star, pivot the feet toward your right. Exhale, warrior two. Just take a moment to land in your warrior two, relax your shoulders, and find a long line right through that heart center. Turn the right palm up, take it into your dancing warrior, same warrior legs. Inhale. Exhale, back warrior two. Inhale, opening up, 5-pointed star, shining star. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, star. Pivot on the feet, warrior two facing left. Exhale. Take a moment to land. Hips squared to the long end of your mat, shoulders stacked over hips. Inhale, dancing warrior. We can also call this moon gazing warrior as you look up at that palm. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, opening up, 5-pointed star. Exhale, goddess. Get down into it, powerful goddess. Inhale, star. Bend the right knee, spring off, come onto the left side of your mat. Palms come together and just let that moon set in the heart. Big breath in and release. We're going to add an extended side angle now. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale. This also corresponds to the phases of women's lives. So maiden, inhale, mother. Exhale, wise woman or crone. Inhale up to center and open out into your 5-pointed star. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, star. Pivot on the feet, exhale into your warrior two. Inhale, moon gazing warrior or dancing warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Now staying with those same legs, rest your forearm on your thigh and wheel that left arm down and away, roll the hips open, extended side angle. All right, so roll that top hip open, firm your core, lengthen through your spine, breathe into your fingertips here on that left hand. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, star. Pivot, exhale, warrior two. Inhale, moon gazing. Backhand slides down the back leg. Look up at your palm, at the moon. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, extended side angle. All right, get long enough in your stance that your hip isn't sticking up in the air. And line up your heel with your instep. So just check your stance for a moment. Grow long, breathe into your fingertips. And exhale, warrior two. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, star. Spring off left leg. And inhale, full moon. Exhale, moon set. We're going to add the triangle pose now. 3 phases of the moon. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, and step out nice and wide. The goddess embracing the world. Exhale, powerful goddess, strong legs, strong arms, open heart, open hips. Inhale, 5-pointed star, pivot facing right. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, moon gazing. And if you want to take a little playing with this, you can maybe take your lower hand binding around to grab your thigh, or maybe grabbing the back of the base of the skull, elbow up and looking up. So if you grab the occipital ridge at the base of the skull, you can get a nice, wonderful deepening stretch here. Exhale back into your warrior two. Inhale into your extended side angle. Exhale, warrior two, and straighten that front leg now. That might feel good to give your leg a rest by straightening. Lift up, Pada Bandha, arches of the feet. Draw up the legs, up through your kneecaps, thighs, up through your core. Drop the right hip and reach long and away. Keep the body in one plane as you pivot, so your lower hand can rest on your shin or back of the hand to the calf. Long and wide. And then you can play here. Let's hang out here for a couple of breaths so you can explore an extended triangle or a bind here if you want to reach that upper hand back around, back of the hand to the hip, or grab your thigh, let it roll the torso open. Option to look up at the sky as you lengthen out through the crown of the head. Reach up for the golden cord, let it draw you up, and back to your warrior two. Exhale. Inhale, star. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, star. Exhale, warrior two, other side. Just make sure that knee isn't collapsing inward and drawing toward pinky toe. Make sure you're not leaning forward, so you have a vertical line through your spine, through the center of your body. Inhale, take your dancing, moon-gazing warrior, and maybe play. If you played with a variation on the other side, you can explore that. Exhaling, warrior two. Inhaling, extended side angle. Whole long diagonal line across the right side of your body. Exhale, warrior two. Straighten front leg and get that lift. Draw the energy up the legs, up through the core, out through the fingertips, and drop the left hip. Lift the right hip and roll it open. The core, that Uddiyana Bandha, is going to support that strong lengthening of your spine. Take your triangle pose. It is not important to have your hand all the way down, because what happens is then you go into a fold. You want to be one pane of glass, and you don't want to come into a rounded spine. So it's better to be higher up and long than try to go low but get into a curved spine. And then play with your variations here, reaching long, extended triangle, or taking your bind here, bound Baddha Trikonasana, and the golden cord hanging down. You can reach for it, let it draw you back up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, open wide. You're going to spring off the right foot, come to the left side of your mat. And exhale, let the moon set. Just take a moment to pause here, take a breath. Got one more round to do here. Yeah. Notice how you feel. You're going to feel this leg conditioning and probably side body opening later today or tomorrow. All right. Inhale, rising up. Exhale. Maiden. Inhale, mother. Exhale, wise woman, crone. Inhale up to center and open out, nice wide, goddess embracing the world. Exhale, powerful, Shakti goddess. Inhale, open heart. Exhale. Now, actually, let's take it here. Turn your toes in so that the outer edges of your feet line up with the outer edges of your mat. And we're going to take it into a half forward bend with airplane arms. Let your shoulders line up with your hips. Feel the nice stretch in the backs of the legs. Outer edges of your feet rooting down. Long, flat back. And then bring the hands down to the mat and explore your Prasarita Padottanasana forward fold, wide leg forward fold. Maybe bringing your hands to a block, maybe just letting your hands support you on the mat, whatever is available here. Then I'm going to invite you to come up again halfway here and walk your hands over to your right, pivoting into a lunge, into a high lunge here. If you need a low lunge, if you're needing to relax a little bit, you can just hang out in low lunge. So here's an option for exploration here. If you're in your high lunge, you can take your block, one of your blocks here, place your hands in the corner of the block and spring off. You can watch me for a second. I'm going to spring off into a warrior three. Long line. Remember to unlock the standing legs so you can come into your expression of warrior three. It might be holding on to the block and just practicing getting that long line through the body, or you can turn the block up into a higher setting, and if it's available to you, rolling open into your balancing half moon, Ardha Chandrasana, finding two axes through the body. All right, and then we're going to come back into that lunge. So give yourself a moment to play with that. Take your time. It's fine just to hang out and lunge or to practice. This is your balance practice, and it's also a core strengthening practice because you got to firm that core and draw energy in toward the center and up toward the heart in order to support this pose. The balancing half moon may not be available to you to do freestanding, so on your own you can practice this against a wall. And for those of you who have it, the balance steady and comfortable, you can play with a standing bow kick, grabbing your foot, and pivot back and find your way back into your lunge. Bring your hands inside that foot, lift up the hips, walk around back to center and to the other side. We're going to take that same sequence on the other side. So either high lunge, low lunge if you need a rest, springing off into your warrior three. Remember to square the hips and internally rotate that thigh that's lifted so that the knee points straight down. Shoulders in line with hips. Play with either airplane arms or hands at your side or sword-like energy here. And if it's available, you can open up, stacking one hip on top of the other. Feel free to go against the wall if you want, because it's right there. It depends on where you are in your space if you have a wall. Long and wide. And if it's available, bow kick. That's a little bit more advanced practice, not for everybody. Breathe, enjoy, do it in the spirit of play. There's no way to do this wrong. If you fall out of the pose, it's just an experience to note. And you can float your back foot down, and when you're ready, walk back around to come into your wide leg forward bend. We're going to take it into a twist here. So come up halfway and place your left hand under your left shoulder, arm bones stacked. Inhale, right hand to the sky. Try to keep your sacrum flat and your spine long. Yeah. Stacking shoulder on top of shoulder, long and wide. Exhale, release. Other side. Both legs stay straight here. I always like to look at myself on my screen because I tend to over-rotate with that upper arm. Long from tail to crown, long from lower hand to upper hand. Exhale, release. If you want to take a wide leg forward bend, you can reach your hands forward and your hips back, heart melts down, or take any other explorations that feel good here. Maybe you want to grab opposite foot or ankle, take another side bend and hamstring stretch here. So take another couple of breaths to explore here in this wide leg forward fold. And then the hands come back under the shoulders. We're going to pivot on the heels so the toes turn out once again, 45 degrees, bend the knees, roll up one vertebra at a time, stacking bone on bone. Open up into your 5-pointed star. Exhale one more time into your goddess, and we're going to hold goddess for 3 breaths. And this is your opportunity to invoke the power of the goddess. There is a goddess for just about everything in various spiritual traditions. So whatever your intention was that you set at the beginning of practice, invoke that goddess. The goddess of joy, the goddess of presence, the goddess of compassion, whatever it is. You don't need to know her name. Just say that quality, and she's there. Outer edges of the thighs reach back behind you. Inner thighs, feel that lovely lengthening. Get down into it. Deep Ujjayi breaths. Opening the heart back into 5-pointed star. Expanding, let that goddess embrace you and embrace the world. Soften your shoulders, open your heart. Bend the left knee and spring or slide off back into that full moon, and we'll take the 3 phases one more time. Exhale, waning or waxing. Inhale, full. Exhale, waning. Inhale, new moon, and moon sets back in the heart. And you have just completed the the Chandra Namaskar Vinyasa, the salutation to the moon, which included Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Feel the power of that sequence. Feel your aliveness. Beautiful. Okay. Come down into your child's pose. Just take a moment to return to Earth after we've been orbiting the moon. And just find your breath, reach your hands forward, let your sitting bones melt down, back down toward your heels. All right. And as you're ready, you can rise up into your table pose on the inhale. And if it feels good, take some cat-cow. The spine comes to neutral, slide the hands forward, melt the heart down, puppy stretch. Or heart melting pose, as it's also called. Chin can be down or forehead down. Hips stack over knees, hips reach back, hands reach forward, navel draws in and up. Grow long, draw the body in 2 directions. Lower the elbows down, forearms down, and come forward into your Sphinx pose. We're going to take a moment to explore a back bend here. So you want to have the elbows lined up under the shoulders. That looks good. Palms flat. Press into the elbows and give them a little isometric pull toward the rib cage, and that will open and lengthen through that whole front of the torso, solar plexus area. Root the pubic bone down, plant all 10 toes down as you reach your toes back. So this might be just the right level of back bend for you. If you want to deepen it, you can either hang out here or you can bend your knees and take a mashup of Sphinx and Seal, bringing big toes together and heels toward the low back or the buttocks area, pressing down and forward into the hands. You can lift the elbows a little or straighten. Just draw the shoulders back. You can play with that, moving in and out of that. Or if it's available to you to take a deeper back bend, you can roll the torso down, bring the forehead down, bend the knees, grab your feet behind you, snuggle the inner thighs toward one another, and lift up thighs, lift up chest, shoulders, kick up and back, lift the chin, look up. You're just balancing on your belly and lower ribs here. Breathe and enjoy, lift the corners of the mouth. Toes up and back, up and back, up and back. Wonderful front body stretch. And chest opener, back bend. And slowly float the thighs down. Make a pillow with the hands. Let the cheek come to one side and just rest. You can bend your knees and windshield wipe your legs, lower legs side to side. And then float the feet down. Slide the hands under the shoulders. Press up into a cat stretch. Take the opposite movement here. And we'll take a thread the needle twist for our closing twist today before we come onto our back. So, from table, let your left hand rise to the sky. turning toward the left. Exhale, thread the hand through behind the right arm and tuck your shoulder underneath and let the shoulder and the side of the head come down to the mat. Bend the elbow, press the palm on the right hand into the mat. Press your shoulder into the mat and your palm into the mat of your left hand. Elbow remains 90 degrees, so straight up, beautiful. You can either stay here or you can release your right hand. I might have been mirroring you by accident. I'm not mirroring here. So the hand, the palm that's pressing down, release that, reach it up to the sky and around back behind you for a bind. That's an option, which could be back of the hand to the hip or grabbing your thigh. Rolling shoulder open. Those of you who are experienced yogis and want to play with a little bit more exploration here can slide the right foot back, press out through the heel, lift the hip, bring that twist down the spine, and maybe float those toes up to the sky for a little stability practice. Long line from your left shoulder to your right toes. It's a fun way to play, but optional. And then coming back down to table, unwind your bind, come back to hands and knees. Any wiggles and waggles that feel good before we do the other side. I just want to say that for some of you, if it feels like a difficult move to get your shoulder and head and shoulder down to the mat, you can put a blanket here and do this. So you can always have your shoulder on the blanket or head and shoulder on the blanket if that's easier for you. So from table, right hand rises, stack right shoulder on top of left, grow long and wide. Keep your hips over your knees, so thighs straight up and down, tuck it through, thread the needle under. Press into the left palm, elbow remains pointing up so the arm stays at 90 degrees, so we don't want to let it collapse. Press into your left palm. Tuck that right shoulder under a little more and reach the fingers through, letting the back of the hand and the arm rest on the mat. Either stay here or reach up and around with left hand, take it into bind, whatever version of bind feels good for you. And then if it feels available, you can slide your left foot back on the ball of your foot, press out through the heel, lift the hip, and let that be an opportunity to bring that twist a little further down the spine. Maybe you want to curl your right toes under here for a little more stability. And for extra bonus points, see if you can lift those toes. Long line from shoulder to toes. Oh yeah. And if you fall, just have a sense of humor about it. You don't have very far to go. Come back to down hands and knees, back into your table. And any movements that feel like a good response here. And when you're ready, you can come onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest, rock side to side. And from here, any movements that feel good, just give yourself a little yogi's choice moment. Maybe you want to circle the hips. Maybe you want to take a little inversion moment. Plow and shoulder stand, maybe just legs in the air. Maybe you would enjoy a happy baby or another twist, if that feels good. So let yourself play and explore and check in with what your body wants and needs. We will be going into a supine bound angle, so we'll take that in a moment as a winding down restorative practice. And then bringing the soles of the feet together, making a diamond shape with your legs. Allow the knees to open wide and the outer edges of the thighs to melt down toward the mat. So you have that nice open hip restorative moment here. And you can have your hands by your sides or on your belly, one hand on low belly, one hand on chest if you want to follow the breath. Or maybe you want to take it into a reclining goddess with the arms open, elbows at shoulder height in your goddess arms. If this feels a little too intense and it's hard to relax into it with the open hips, you can place a block underneath each thigh or even place your fists there. Are you both comfortable like that? Okay, just for a few breaths. Let's take 5 deep breaths in this restorative, reclining goddess or Supta Baddha Konasana, supine bound angle. In this pose, you don't have to do anything. Once you get set up, you let the shape of the pose do its work on you. To open the body, to open the hips, to stretch the inner thighs. And just take this time to follow your yogic breathing, beginning in the belly, letting the belly expand and open like a balloon, and then inviting the breath to come up into the rib cage and then up into the chest. Find that lovely pause at the top in fullness, and then slowly releasing with a little narrowing of the airway, the breath in the chest, the breath in the rib cage area, and the breath in the belly, drawing the navel in toward the spine at the end of your exhale. And if you are enjoying this restorative posture and it feels nourishing to you, you can use this as your final relaxation. If you feel like you'd like to come into Shavasana, you can just slowly release your feet from one another and let the legs come out toward opposite corners of your mat, letting the toes just naturally flop out in opposite directions. Arms about 45 degrees from the body, palms turned up, just receiving. Imagine that you're bathing in the healing energy of that moonlight. Let go of any control of the breath. And let the breath come to you. Let it find its own natural rhythm. You don't have to do any restricting of the airway here. Just let the throat relax. Let the feet relax. Just let them melt into the earth beneath you. The ankles softening. The calves, shins. Let the knees release and relax into the earth below you. And let that softening and relaxation move up into the thighs, the backs of the thighs, fronts of the thighs, muscles release. Let the buttocks release and relax and soften. Hips, pelvis, low belly, whole torso, rib cage area, and all of the organs that live in your abdomen and rib cage area, working so beautifully to sustain life in you. Let them release and relax. Let the low back release, middle back, upper back, shoulders, chest. Trusting fully in the rhythm of your heart. Let your whole chest and upper back release and soften around your heart. The upper arms release into the earth, elbows, forearms, as if any tension is just flowing, streaming like a river down the arms, through the wrists, palms, and out the fingertips. Throat is soft. Sides of the neck, back of the neck, soft and relaxed. Release and relax through the jaw, the muscles around the mouth, cheekbones, and the eyes, the temples, back of the head, the brow, and the top of the head. Enjoying this moment of complete relaxation as your natural state. And know that this state of peace is a place that you can return to at any point in your day, and that is the gift of your yoga practice. And it is my wish and hope for each and every one of you that you will take the gifts and the power of this practice and bring it into every area of your life and let it radiate outward from you in your words, thoughts, and actions to be a force for peace and healing and light in the world. Peace to all, love to all, light to all, joy to all, health to all, wealth to all, strength to all, grace to all. Slowly begin to find some movement that brings you back into present time, into your body. Deepen the breath. And in your own way, in your own time, find your way onto your side. And take your time to return to a seated position. Yoga asana, steady and comfortable yogic seat. And as a closing prayer, this is a very simple call and response. So I'll sing a line and you're invited, if you like, to echo me. Sending out the wish for all beings to be happy and peaceful and well. Peace to all, love to all, light to all, joy to all, health to all, wealth to all, strength to all, grace to all, peace to all, love to all, light to all, joy to all, health to all, wealth to all, strength to all, grace to all. Bringing the hands together in front of the heart. Let's close with the sound of Om. Namaste and blessings to all. We will have, for those of you who wish to, a 10-minute meditation. So take your time, a moment here to transition. Get yourself set up for that. Find your steady and comfortable yogic seat, any comfortable cross-legged position that supports a long spine. I'll find my timer, and we'll do 10 minutes together. And just like we began our practice in mountain pose, building from the bottom up, we do the same thing with our yogic seat. Just feeling that sense of grounding with your sitting bones, tailbone, pelvis, rooted into the earth. That gives you the support to find that lift and elongation of the spine. Shoulders back and down, heart open. And find a hand position that allows the shoulders to just stay slightly tucked back and down rather than drawing forward. So it might mean drawing your hands back a little bit on your thighs. Palms can be down, palms can turn up. Maybe thumbs and first fingers meeting in Dhyan Mudra. Or maybe tucking one hand into the palm of the other in Dhyana Mudra, meditation mudra. Back of the neck long, chin is level, crown of the head lifting and lengthening skyward. Notice the sensations as the air envelops your skin. Notice the support of the earth beneath you. Notice where you feel sensation in the body. Whether it's pleasant or perhaps there's a little bit of discomfort. Just see if you can notice that and be with that without reacting to it. If you need to shift your posture, you can do that to maximize comfort. But if there's an area of your body where it's hard to find complete comfort, and our meditation practice is an opportunity to simply be with it, notice it, and befriend it. Notice the sounds enveloping you in your environment. Human sounds, or nature sounds. Perhaps the sound of your own breath. Perhaps you can even tune into the hum of life energy, prana, buzzing through you. The prana hum. And let the breath find its own natural rhythm, and let the attention settle on the movement of breath wherever it's most prominent. Bringing an easeful, joyful, childlike curiosity to what's alive in you. And when the mind wanders into thought, let the breath be your home base. Every time you return to the breath, it's a welcoming home to present moment awareness. Namaste.
Oh my goodness.